Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I just wanted to share a quote that I heard working with Fiona yesterday. So shout out to Fiona if you're listening to this. She shared a quote that her manager used to tell her basically daily. And I think it's so good that I want to share it with you as well. So the quote is, "The first draft is the hardest." I love it because it's extremely accurate. I think we all know how hard it is just to get the first draft out. And so I think there's a lot of pressure then. And what I love about this quote is that it reduces the pressure because you accept that, yes, it's going to be tough to get this out, but once you've started, then things actually do become easier. I've seen this in so many different across my life, and I'm sure if you're listening to this quote will hit you as well as just being accurate. And so often when, I guess, the example that Fiona was talking about, she's working on driving a process and creating a program of work. And to get to the first draft is tricky because there's a lot of consultative work, but you want to put it out there and you can't have this opinion that it has to be perfect. This is the beauty of working in public, creating a sort of a journey where you are getting feedback. But to kick that off, you have to put a first draft out there. It's much easier when people can critique, provide feedback, add additions, to something that they can see. And what Fiona's done really well with this program is she's really front loaded a lot of the work into the first draft. And so that's made it just so much easier. And when I heard this quote, I thought about writing my book and how tough it was just to get through that first draft and share that publicly, because it's embarrassing. You've been working on it. You're not really sure if it lands. What I did, I guess, with my first draft of my book was I had that really tricky constraint. I had to get it written within 52 days because I was traveling to California and I had to have version 1 at this conference for review. And so having that really tight time frame made me commit to actually getting something out there. If I didn't have that time frame, I reckon I'd still be writing the book. And I see this with so many people. And I think it's, in fairness, books have their own timeline. But I guess with this, like I said, I've been thinking about a book for the 2-hour workshop blueprint, which was published in May of 2023. I've been thinking about writing a book, for 5-6 years. And it was only that I gave myself that really tight time frame to turn it around, some public accountability that I did it. And I think hearing this quote, "The first draft is the hardest," and just reminding myself of that every day, would have, I guess, helped me get over all of the discomfort I had with sharing it, with what I was writing. And I guess this reminds me of a quote, because we do critique our work more than anyone does. And I love this quote from Ira Glass. I think I brought it up with my friend Steph Clark the other day. We're talking about writing. And Ira's quote is this. He says, "Nobody tells people who are beginners, and I really wish somebody had told this to me, is that all of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But it's there's a gap that for the first couple of years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, okay? It's not that great. It's really not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what? A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit. And the thing I just to say to you with all my heart is that most everybody I know who does interesting, creative work, they went through a phase of years where they had really good taste. They could tell that what they were making wasn't as good as what they wanted it to be. They knew it fell short. It didn't have the special thing that we wanted it to have. And the thing I would say to you is everybody goes through that. And for you to go through it, if you're going through it right now, if you're just getting out of that phase, you got to know it's totally normal. And the most important possible thing you can do is a lot of work. Do a huge volume of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week or every month, you know you're going to finish one story. Because it's only by actually going through a volume of work that you are actually going to catch up and close that gap. And the work that you're making will be as good as your ambitions. It takes a while. It's normal to take a while. And you just have to fight your way through that, okay? How good is that quote? So I guess my prompt for you is to just start publishing, and the hardest part is actually hitting send on that. I mean, I face it every week when I write my weekly work fame article. I read incredible articles from thought leaders and authors, and I know what I'm writing isn't that great. And it pains me to click send on it. And look, people do respond really well to it, but I know that I can do better. But it's only through actually doing it every week that I'm going to get better at that. So just weekly first drafts, daily first drafts. That's what this podcast has been about, just volume of putting out creative thinking and work. So I encourage you to do the same. And just remember, the first draft is the hardest. Thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.